Hello and welcome to our channel Lawyer Tops Creations for this week. For those that are just tuning in for the first time, my name is Lucy and I am the designer of for Lawyer Tops Creations. Now, once again, I thank you for tuning in. I thank all the new subscribers that I have on the channel. I'm so grateful. I've now hit 500 and above, and with your help I know we'll hit more than that, 1,000 and so on. So thank you so much. Now, last week we continued with our wire loop using the one-step looper, and I had two sizes. In the video last week I made a mistake by saying this was the 2.5 mm, but it's 2.25 anyway, but I sort of corrected it somehow in the video, but it's 2.25. These are the one-step loopers that we used to make wire loops last week, and that is what I used to make this bracelet here. So but this week we're going further to learn how to loop, but this time to wire wrap our beads. We start off by trying to make a loop, but we're going to end up by wire wrapping, by wrapping the sort of loop in between the loop and the bead. So what tools do I need, or what tools do you need to be able to do all? We need our chain nose pliers. I've got two. We need our round nose pliers, and we need our flush cutters. We also need the beads we're going to use to practice, and I also have some earring hooks because I want to show you how to attach to an earring hook, and I have some lengths of wire which I'm going to use, and some head pins. Now, I learned how to do this through practicing. Of course, I wasted quite a lot of head pins, but then I sort of found my way by just practicing. And since I'm left-handed, I sometimes turn the beads in a different way or a different order to get to the result. But notwithstanding, let's start. So let's use a head pin and a bead, one bead first of all. So we've got the bead on the head pin. What we need is, some people use the chain nose pliers to bend your head pin or your wire to give you a little space between the bead and the bend of the wire, 90-degree angle of the wire. You can use that, but I always start with my round nose. That's mine. So you give your thumb, just as we're doing when we want to do the wire loop. So you get your 90-degree angle. Then you change the position of your round nose pliers. And remember, you must still use the mark on your round nose pliers. So if it's rubbed off, you need to sort of use your pen, your pen to mark it back. So you put your round nose pliers in the corner such that the round nose pliers are up, standing up, not flat down like this. You've turned it round to up. Some people turn it this way and do it with the wire facing them. You can do that if you want to, but I still just do it this way. So once you've done that, you now put your thumb under the wire, hold the bead, and then flip the wire back to this side. I'm not sure can you see that? You flip the wire back to this side. I'm still using the tip of the black mark because I don't want it to be bigger than that. So once you flip it back, you take your round nose pliers out again. You can see that it's got an arc. It's formed a sort of arc, and that's what we want, so that the hook, the loop, will be centered. And then you put your round nose pliers back in it, and then hold the bead, but take the wire under, put it under the bottom of your round nose pliers, such that it comes out straight on the other side. You could use your flat nose pliers to pull it if you like, or if you're strong enough, you use your fingers. So you've got that. If I take it out again, this is what you are aiming at. This is what you are aiming at. Now, you've got this space between the loop and the bead, and you've got this wire. So what we want to do is to use this wire to wrap that space there. We want to wrap that space. We want to turn this wire round this in this space here. So what you do is there are different ways to do it. You can put your round nose pliers back into the loop you've just made and turn the wire. You can do that, or you can use your flat nose pliers to hold it and turn it. You can use your finger, or you can use a plier to turn it, whichever way is comfortable. I say you should practice, and then you'll find out which is comfortable for you to do. Now, I'll use the pliers to hold it, and then use my fingers to try and wrap it. You have to wrap it tight. So if you don't want a big gap, so it has to be tight. So if you are not strong enough, use pliers to hold it. You can see the bead is moving. By the time you wrap in between, the bead will move out. So you continue wrapping. I've gone round once. This is another time under the first wrap. You've gone round. Okay, I want to go round again. I've gone round again. You can see that the bead has moved, so it's quite sturdy now. And then use your pliers to stretch the wire, and you go round. School of thought says if you go round thrice, that should be okay. So this is what you are aiming at. You've wire wrapped that small space in between. This is what we are aiming at. You've wire wrapped that small space in between. And I normally go around 3 times. So if I'm making a second bead like this, it is 3 times, and then I stop. Some people do 4. It's all a matter of preference. I do 3, and then you use your flush cutters to cut off the excess. Cut off as much as you can of the excess wire using your flush side. But once you cut it off, you will still see that you have a little bit jutting out. Can you see that? There's still a little bit jutting out. So you use your chain nose pliers to press it in the little space you have left. So that is your wire wrap. That is one way of finishing off your wire wrap. Now let's say I've done the two and I want to put them on an earring. Now because this is an earring top that has a loop that you can open it and close it, it is fine to finish your wire wrap and then put it on to the loop of your earring and close it. It is fine to do so. But if your earring top did not have a loop that could be opened or closed, or perhaps you want to put on a chain or something like that, then you have to put it on before you finish your loop, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Now another way of wire wrapping is what you have here. I hope you can see this. This is more than 3 times. In fact, it has been wrapped on to the top of the bead. This can be done depending on maybe the style or the creation you are making. Maybe you want to use it as part of the style and then you just add a few more turns on top of the bead. It's not standard. The standard wrapping is this one. But people, just to make their creations more beautiful or more, they do wrap extra. So it's a matter of choice. It's not compulsory, but you need to learn how to wire wrap your bead first so that you have a particular way in which you do it, which will be steady in all your creations. So let's do another one. This time I will use a length of wire. Now to use a length of wire, if you want to put on your bead, definitely you need something at the bottom to stop your bead from falling out. So what I normally do it as, I use it as a style too. I put the wire in between my round nose pliers, roll it about 3 times. So you have something like this. Then I will press it. I'll press it flat and then I'll put my bead on. So once you put your bead on, your bead can't fall out. So there are 2 ways. Sometimes I roll more than this and then I'll bend it and use it as a style at the bottom of the bead, just like this. I'll bend it in such a way that it will be at the bottom of the bead. Let me bend this one and you can see. So it will be at the bottom of the bead like this, or you just leave it alone. So let's go on to wire wrapping. So once you've done that, you take your pliers, whichever one you're using, make your 90-degree bend. There you have it. Turn your pliers. I'm always making notice of my mark, and then push it back. Push it back. Take your pliers out. So I've got the bend I need. Put them back this way, and then under. Take it out. You can straighten it if you like. Now you want to wrap. Now before you wrap, once you've done a bend and you're gonna add something, maybe you're adding chain or you're adding an earring top, or you want to add another bead, let's say I want to make a bracelet, so I'm linking the beads together. This is the time to add. Before you wrap is the time to add. So you need to put it on and cleverly shift it into the loop you made. If it's so tight, you need to just open it a teeny weeny bit and then shift it on into the loop you have made. Okay, you shift it into the loop you have made. Can you see? Before you wire wrap. So if I wanted to put it on an earring, maybe that didn't open and that the loop did not open, this is the time I will put it into the loop, shift that into the space, close it again, because I opened it a little bit to get it in. Just press it down, and then you hold the loop just as before. Try to push whatever you are putting in the loop out of the way, and then you now wrap it. I'll try to use my fingers this time. You wrap it as tight as you can. It flips out, so you need to take your time. There's no hurry about it. Just take your time and wrap. Okay. Just take your time to wrap. That's the third one. And then I'll cut the excess off using the flush side of my cutters. So once I've cut that off, I now push the little bit that is left under the bead, under the wrap. There'll still be a little space. You just push it in. That's right. And there you have it. So you can see the wrap, and you can see that I've added it on to the earring top. So that is how you learn how to wrap. If you are making a bracelet, then of course, once you've done one wrap, you won't close it. You won't finish the wrapping. Once you've done one loop, you add on your bead before finishing, and then you continue wrapping and joining your beads together until you get your required length. So that is how to wrap your beads. That's what I have for this week. Next week I'll be back with something else. I am making some wire wrapped bracelets and necklaces, which I'll probably put the pattern on the channel later. But for next week, we will go on to something else. Thank you for tuning in. Always remember to subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button if you haven't. I encourage friends to subscribe to the channel. Let's hit the 1,000 mark, and then we'll see what happens there and beyond. But there are quite a few things that are coming into Loyal Tops Creations in the coming weeks. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.